This is a great outfit, Robbie. Who would guess this is me, Hillary Clinton? Okay, go ahead and play me what you're wanting me to hear.
From a new round of released emails from WikiLeaks, reportedly from the inbox of Hillary Clinton's campaign chairman, John Podesta. These details are absolutely stunning, and most of the media is not covering this.
They're true.
In detail. Now, in 2008, the Clinton campaign appeared to conduct a focus group that tested voters' reactions to various attacks that they may have wanted to use against then-Senator Barack Obama in the upcoming primary race. This tells you a lot about the Clintons. Now, here are the topics they were looking at back then and allegedly testing. Quote, Obama's the only candidate at a recent event not to cover his heart during the national anthem, and he stopped wearing an American flag pin. Obama benefited from a land deal from a contributor who's been indicted for corruption. Obama would personally negotiate with leaders of terrorist nations like Iran and North Korea without preconditions. Wow, Hillary did that too. Obama voted against allowing people to use handguns to defend themselves against intruders. Obama planned to raise taxes by $180 billion to pay for his government-run health care plan. Hillary voted for it. Obama also voted repeatedly against emergency funding bills for U.S. troops in Iraq and Afghanistan. Obama's father was a Muslim, and Obama grew up among Muslims in the world's most populous Islamic country. Obama is ranked as one of the 10 most liberal members of the Senate because of his support for issues like gay adoption. Obama voted against requiring medical care for aborted fetuses who survived that procedure. Obama supports giving driver's licenses to undocumented immigrants. By the way, Hillary supported that too. Obama described his former use of cocaine as just using a little blow. So here's more proof that the Clinton campaign has been pushing this Muslim narrative all along. Now, these stunning facts exposed by WikiLeaks, it's only a small portion of what has been uncovered with these released emails. Now, we've also learned that what Hillary Clinton tells you, the American people, about her policy positions in public is very different from what she says in private. You think Clinton would be ashamed to admit that she lies to you, the American people, but no, she actually brags about doing exactly that in a 2013 Wall Street speech where she was paid $225,000. Here are some of her major contradictions. Now, she says she wants to increase the number of Syrian refugees coming into the country by 550%, but the WikiLeaks emails show that in a speech in 2013, she admitted that refugees cannot be properly vetted and could put countries they enter at risk. Stop 1 second. That means she's willing to gamble with your life. Now, Clinton also claims she wants a no-fly zone in Syria, but it was revealed that she was very skeptical about the idea during a speech she gave to Goldman Sachs. Despite being the so-called champion, by the way, also of climate change, all these emails reveal that she's unsure about supporting or opposing the Keystone Pipeline, and also she praised fracking. Well, that's pretty hypocritical. Now, Clinton also pretends that she's a fierce critic of Wall Street and big banks, but as they were paying her again and again and again, she praised their actions after the 2007 financial collapse while she was talking to bankers who were paying her. And contrary to what she says now in paid speeches, well, Clinton has supported open borders and open trade. She wants an open hemisphere, we also discovered. And we discovered, too, that these emails that Clinton's team, they actually tried to use the Benghazi terror attack as a distraction from her private email server scandal. Now think about that. Who does this? We're talking about 4 dead Americans that died in that attack. And remember, there were 600 requests for extra security, and she didn't send anybody to help them, and she wanted to use their deaths as a political distraction. Who acts like that? And speaking of her email scandal, serious red flags are being raised tonight after emails released earlier today show that John Podesta emailed Clinton aide Cheryl Mills, quote, "You think we should hold emails to and from the POTUS," meaning the President of the United States? Well, that's the heart of his executive privilege, and we can get them to ask for that. Now, they may not care, but it seems like they probably will. So it appears now that President Obama did in fact know that Clinton used a private email account, despite publicly saying to you that he learned about it from press reports, just like we did. Now, this shows the Clinton server scandal may very well reach the highest level of government. Mr. President, what did you know? And when did you know it? Now, to me, this helps prove
Americans will
why
never know.
Clinton's IT team,
Not if I'm
remember,
president.
they used BleachBit to permanently delete tens of thousands of emails instead of wiping it clean with a cloth. In my opinion, it explains the very suspicious, very questionable actions of the FBI Director James Comey and the Attorney General Loretta Lynch, and why Bill Clinton, of course, met privately with Lynch on her private plane for nearly 40 minutes just before she rendered her decision. Now, they couldn't bring charges against Clinton or investigate this too much. Why? Oh, Obama looks to be directly tied to Hillary's scandal. Now, simply put, for President Obama, this would be the equivalent of Watergate. Plus, WikiLeaks also discovered that the campaign was tipped off, in other words, collusion, with the Department of Justice about the release of information about Hillary's private email server. And on top of that, collusion with the State Department, because the State Department gave the campaign a heads up about when emails related to the Democratic nominee would be released to the public. But the revelations don't stop there. Now, WikiLeaks also uncovered more about the inner workings of the Clinton Foundation. This is interesting. This is pay to play. Chelsea Clinton in 2011 raised those questions about corruption, about pay to play, and those practices going on inside of her family's charity, but her complaints were ignored, and she was even viciously attacked for speaking out by one of her father's longtime aides, Doug Bann. Well, he called Chelsea a spoiled brat. Now, keep in mind, as the AP has previously reported, remember, 55% of non-governmental people who met with Hillary Clinton while she was Secretary of State, they ended up donating or pledging money to the Clinton Foundation. Is that selling access? Now, ABC News is also reporting that after the 2010 earthquake in Haiti, remember, 150,000 people died, a reported $10 billion in relief aid was being dedicated to that disaster. At that time, Hillary's State Department gave special treatment to Bill Clinton's friends who may have been looking to cash in. Now, the New York Post editorial board called this, quote, the most damning Clinton Foundation story yet. They made separate lists of their friends. Now, the Clinton Foundation, of course, denies this ever happened, but WikiLeaks says otherwise. And there's also more. There's also the blatant hypocrisy of Hillary Clinton and her campaign. Well, they labeled Donald Trump a racist, a sexist, a xenophobe, referring to his supporters, remember, basket of deplorables that are irredeemable. Bill Clinton said they're rednecks. Well, the released emails show that her campaign attacked and mocked Catholics and evangelicals, and that John Podesta, a left-wing activist, he was talking about fomenting revolution within the Catholic Church, and it should be infiltrated so they can inject their progressive values into the church. In one email, Podesta used the subject line, quote, needy Latinos, one easy call for the needy Latinos. And they also leaked emails from the Democratic National Committee. Remember, they showed a sleazy plan to post a fake job listing on Craigslist for a Trump company. The job requirements, no gaining weight, and that you must be open to public humiliation. Also on top of that, there's the issue of liberal mainstream media bias and how it has now become an extension of the Clinton campaign. Now, since 2008, what have I been telling you? Journalism in America is dead. But back then, the press refused to vet Senator Obama, and now we have proof that the abusively biased liberal media is now openly colluding with the Clinton campaign in what is clearly a coordinated effort to put Hillary in the White House. Now, what WikiLeaks found is disturbing. It should be very, very concerning to everybody in this country. Because in emails, we see that CNBC's John Harwood, remember he moderated a debate, he offered advice to the Clinton campaign, praised Hillary, and bragged about attacking Trump at a primary debate that he was moderating. A New York Times reporter actually allowed the Clinton campaign to edit out certain quotes from Hillary before the story's published. By the way, they never let me do that. Also, the Boston Globe launched an effort to try and boost up Hillary Clinton while she was battling Senator Bernie Sanders in the primaries. Also, the head of Univision, he pushed Team Clinton to attack Trump even harder on issues like immigration. And after a trip to Michigan, the Clinton campaign bragged that every single interviewer was for her. Then over at CNN, Donna Brazile, while working there, appears to have shared a question with the Clinton campaign before a town hall on that very network. Brazile denies it, but the question seems verbatim. Also, there are revelations about how Hillary Clinton and her campaign feel about you, how they really feel about you, the American people. An email shows that Clinton hated using the term everyday Americans in speeches, and in prepared remarks, Hillary said she was far removed from the struggles of the middle class because of the fortunes her and Bill now enjoy, because they get $250,000 a speech from big banks and lobbyists and insurance companies and Wall Street firms and much more.
Governments.
Huge, huge, huge revelations. Joining us now with reaction, the author of the brand new book. It's out today. It's called Treason. Former Speaker of the House, Fox News contributor.
This badass. Do I have to listen
Here's what's
to
amazing
him
about
too?
this to me. Number one, you see the dark arts of politics that the Clintons played against Obama. That's now revealed in WikiLeaks. And on top of that, you got this collusion.
That's why Louis Farrakhan calls me a wicked woman.
They're an extension of Clinton. Then it's also the State Department. They're tipping off Clinton. The Justice Department is tipping off Clinton. The White House is helping Clinton with the email server scandal. And why? Because Obama, who said he learned about the emails like we did from the press, actually was emailing the private email.
Yeah.
What do you make of all this? And the media, by the way, all they want to talk about is some new woman that made an allegation this late in the game against Donald Trump.
Thank you, ladies.
Well, look, I think you have to see the whole thing
accused him
the
of
same
rape,
thing.
Donald of rape,
You
like
have
my husband did.
so much corruption underway now that, you get $1 million check from a dictatorship in the Middle East as a birthday gift for Bill Clinton.
And all I can tell
in a
is
healthy
that
society
Donald
that'd be considered bribery.
kissed a few women. Trying to come on to him.
The richest man in Mexico donating millions of dollars to the Clinton Foundation.
At least he's
while
not a
also the
freaking
major
rapist
stockholder in the New York
pervert like
Times,
my husband.
which just happens to be doing everything it can to protect, Hillary Clinton.
Can I just stop you? The $1 million check came from Qatar, a country that allows that its marital rape is legal.
Americans don't know
It's
even
also a
where
country
Qatar
which
is.
Hillary
Who
herself had
cares?
said was helping support and sustain ISIS.
Yep.
I mean, one of the things, WikiLeaks, there's so much material there that it's going to take a while for it to sink in. But WikiLeaks actually is going to presently give us an entirely new understanding of how sick and how dishonest and how corrupt the left is, and all of its mechanisms, the news media, the bureaucracy, the campaign, and at the center of it are the Clintons, and Hillary Clinton is the most corrupt candidate ever to run for president of the United States. And you're now seeing detail after detail after detail that's beyond any reasonable question of the depth of their corruption and what they would bring into the White House. If you look at how the $10 billion are supposed to go back to Haitians after the last earthquake, and what do we have happen?
Yeah.
We suddenly had friends of Bill who came to, not people who knew Haiti, not people who had particular skills, but friends of Bill, people who had donated, suddenly got special State Department treatment. Well, this kind of stuff's surfacing now in a way that I suspect the average American over the next week or two is just going to be sickened by the repetitive example.
They won't even know about it.
Coincidence
The
that
press
here we
is
are
in my
25
pocket.
days out of a campaign, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, 6 women come out and make allegations against Donald Trump. 6. And do you think it's coincidental it's happening right in the middle of a massive document dump that implicates the Clintons?
Look, if you're the New York Times or
NBC
CBS
didn't
News
sit
or
on that
Washington
tape
Post,
for 11
and
years
you're
for
desperately
nothing.
propping up the most corrupt candidate in history, you're going to reach for anything. I think it's actually funny today that the man who was cited by that first woman being on the first-class flight in the airplane 30 years ago actually came out of the woodwork, turns out to be British, said, yes, I was sitting across the aisle, no, she's a total liar. I mean, all these things are all going to unravel. But it gives the media a chance for a few days to try to suppress the Trump voter, and I think it makes the polls highly inaccurate because you get 3 or 4 days like this, a lot of voters aren't going to say Donald Trump's name when they're called by a pollster, but they will answer Donald Trump. This is why Rasmussen is very different from some of the polls.
Make sure that all the illegals we have registered to vote for the last 12 years, that they all vote.
It took me 10 minutes to outline just the headlines of what is There's so much here about collusion with the media, collusion with the State Department, collusion with the Justice Department, and the White House knowing that Obama lied, and they're talking about erasing emails that are under subpoena. There's a lot here. All right, well, more New Cambridge right after the break. Also, WikiLeaks helped reveal just how much the White House knows about
they can't
the Clinton
prove
server
any
scandal.
of it.
What do they know?
Barack Obama has claimed executive privilege.